Hello friends, we all know that close to 15 lakh aspirants every year appear for the UPSC Civil Services examination. This is one of the most toughest examination in India which selects the civil servants for the central government. Today we'll look into the pattern of the UPSC Civil Services. UPSC is Union Public Service Commission. It is a constitutional body under Article 315 to Article 323 of the Constitution of India. It is primarily selecting officers in Group A and Group B for the central government. It is located at New Delhi. UPSC Civil Services examination is held every year in three stages and it selects officers to All India Service and Central Services under the Government of India. There are three stages of Civil Services exam. Stage 1 is the UPSC Civil Services Prelims. Stage 2 is the UPSC Civil Service Mains and Stage 3 is the Personality Test. Coming to Civil Services Preliminary Examination, it is an objective test which has multiple choice questions. It carries two papers with 400 marks. It is a screening test only and the marks scored in the preliminary examination are not counted in the final order of merit. Number of people qualifying the examination is 12 to 13 times of total approximate number of vacancies. This exam has a negative marking wherein 0.33 marks are reduced for every wrong answer. Minimum qualifying marks are there for the GS paper 2 wherein you have to score minimum 33% marks to qualify in the GS paper 2. Preliminary examination General Studies paper 1 will look after the General Studies paper 1. This is the part A of the preliminary examination which carries 200 marks and a duration of 2 hours. Major issues covered in this paper are as follows: current events of national and international importance, history of India and Indian national movement, Indian and world geography, physical, social, economic geography of India and world, Indian polity and governance, constitution, political system, panchayati raj, public policy, rights issues, etc. Economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographics, social sector initiatives. General issues on environmental ecology, biodiversity and climate change that do not require subject specialization, and general science. So friends, we see here that the paper is covering all the subjects that touch our lives like history, geography, polity, economics, social development, environment ecology, biodiversity and climate change. This paper is very closely related to the current affairs and good knowledge of the current affairs is very necessary for scoring very good marks in this exam. Welcome to the second paper, General Studies 2 paper, Preliminary Examination. This paper carries 200 marks and it is having a duration of 2 hours. It is a qualifying paper wherein you have to score minimum 33% marks to get qualified. It tests your comprehension skills in English and in Hindi, interpersonal skills including communication skills, logical reasoning and analytical ability, decision making and problem solving, general mental ability, and basic numeracy skills at the class 10 level. There are some examples of data interpretation, which includes charts, graphs, tables, data sufficiency at the class 10 level. Now we'll come to the second stage. After you clear the civil services preliminary examination, you have to write the mains examination. We will not go in other details, but we will stick to the pattern of the examination. Now, what exactly is civil services mains examination? This examination intends to assess the overall intellectual traits and depth of understanding of candidates rather than merely the range of their information and memory. It is a subjective test. The standards of question are such that well-educated person can answer them without any specialized study. The questions test the general awareness of the candidate on variety of subjects. They also test the candidate's basic understanding of all relevant issues and ability to analyze and take a view on conflicting socioeconomic goals, objectives, and demands. Question papers for the examination are of conventional essay type. Each paper will be of 3 hours duration. Candidates will have the option to answer all the question papers except the qualifying language papers, paper A and B, in any one of the languages included in the ED schedule of the Constitution. Now we'll come to the number of papers that are there in Civil Services main examination. There are close to 9 papers in the Civil Services main examination, out of which 2 papers, that is paper A Indian language, which can be any language in the as per the schedule of the Indian Constitution, and paper B English is English paper. These two paper carries marks of 300 marks each, that is 600 marks, which are qualifying. Then we come to paper 1, which is a essay. Essay paper, you will have to write 2 essays on various subjects which will be given in the question paper. The subject range from abstract issues to issues of general importance. It carries 250 marks. Second paper is General Studies 1. It also carries 250 marks. Paper 3 is General Studies 2. That carries 250 marks. Paper 4, General Studies 3. It also carries 250 marks. Paper 5, General Studies 4. It carries 250 marks. And then you have two papers, paper 6 and 7, which are for optionals. Optional 1 and optional 2, they carry 250 marks each. So the total marks counted in merit are 1750. Now we will see exactly what these papers, General Studies 1, 2, 3, 4 have. General Studies 1 is basically about Indian heritage and culture, history and geography of the world and society. General Studies 2 is about governance, constitution, polity, social justice, and international relations. General Studies 3 is about technology, economic development, biodiversity, environment, security, and disaster management. General Studies 4 is about ethics, integrity, and aptitude. Now, after you qualify the civil services main examination, you have to appear for a personality test. The total number of marks for the personality test are 275. Questions asked are of general interest. The object of the interview or personality test is to assess the personal suitability of the candidate for a career in public service by a board of competent and unbiased observers. The interview or personality test is intended to judge the mental caliber of a candidate. In broad terms, this is really an assessment of not only intellectual qualities but also social traits and interest in current affairs. Some of the qualities to be judged are mental alertness, critical powers of assimilation, clear and logical exposition, balance of judgment, variety and depth of interest, ability for social cohesion and leadership, intellectual and moral integrity. Thank you, friends. If you like the video, please subscribe, and I will meet you again in another video related to the examination with more interesting facts. Thank you.